So did you text her?
Bruh, I did text her, and it was a very very weird it was a weird thing going on. I think like when I texted her, the first thing that she thought about when I texted her was just like the fuck. Like it was one of those things where I was just thinking to myself, like I could tell she was thinking that possibly like I was trying to get something from her or something like that,
Yeah.
But but like it ended up being like more it ended up really being like a very awkward feeling situation, at least for me. I don't know for her, but like I think in general it just felt like, why the fuck are you texting me?
Yeah.
Like,
so it wasn't as bad as you thought it would be, like when you're texting your ex,
I mean, I don't know, man. I think it's just something, that illusion we play on ourselves, right? Like, let's say we text our ex, and it's like we've had this history, there's all this long term stuff. It just ends up affecting you, but then when it does happen, you're just like, wait, hold up, and then you do it. You're like, is that bad? Is that good? Like, and you end up thinking about it again. It's like we're always afraid of like opening up that goddamn wound again.
Yeah.
Everyone says, oh, don't open up the wound. Just avoid it. Just avoid it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, how about you?
The woman that I
your ex that you texted?
My ex that I texted.
The ex that you texted.
She's like, I call her my kryptonite, but she's also like magical in that way.
Yeah.
Wizard.
Like, wait, what is it?
So I wouldn't say I'd say she's a sorceress. Okay.
Sorceress.
Sorry. Yeah, she's a sorceress.
I don't know. Because I'm like misogynist against wizards and witches.
Yeah, but like
witches, just sorceresses.
Yeah, and like because what happens is that no matter whenever we're hanging out, because we're friends, we have been friends for a while and everything like that. Like I find myself talking a lot more than she is.
Yeah.
And like, she's getting all of this stuff out of me, and like and then like at the end of the conversation or our meeting, I'll be like, so what the hell did I actually learn from her this time around? Yeah. So like this time, like I texted her, and I kind of kept, I tried to keep my guard up, trying to, and like she also was like being like, why are you like
the fuck?
Yeah, like why are you texting me now? Like what's happening this? And I'm just like, and then like the thing was, she was being so like, she was being like she was being like, oh, I'm not here anymore from the last time that I'm over here now. I'm like, so where are you?
I mean, wait, okay. Actually, I should introduce us. So, hey everyone, welcome to the Let Me Challenge You podcast. I'm Julian Fevry, and this is over here
Alex Fevry, and
we are literally doing a podcast about challenging ideas and making sure we want to do something, and it's COVID. That's all fucked up, but ultimately, like, we want to talk to people about things that they've gone through, any sort of their challenges, or things that they want us to do as a challenge. So they can send us an email us at the letmechallengeyupod@gmail.com, or you can DM me at jfevs_ at Instagram, and jfevs JFEVS_, and then you can also message
you could DM me at Maxed Out Character Reviews.
There's a lot of great musical reviews.
Yeah, I do weekly album reviews, and it's usually it's stuff usually out of the norm.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can DM me there, or send me a message, or tweet at me at
Twitter.
Yeah, at Maxed OCR.
And you can also tweet me at Juju Fevry at Twitter, or Julian Fevry. Just type my goddamn name. I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of people with that name. Yeah. But basically, this week we decided to challenge ourselves by texting our exes. We decided
Not
to
all of our exes.
not all
No,
not we're not going crazy. It's not ludicrous.
Yeah.
But we're saying we texted, one of our exes to see, the responses and anything like that. And we decided we want you to text your ex. I want to challenge you to do it. Do something, do that. Challenge yourself. See your ego. Try to measure that out because it's hard to understand when coming from all of that. But it's one of those things that I feel like maybe society, like when we are in a weird space of being like, hey, we're in a relationship with for someone for so long, it's like I can't talk to them again because they've done me wrong, or things
Didn't
end
work
well.
out.
But maybe it doesn't have to be like that. Maybe I'm naive in thinking that, but maybe sometimes. I mean, look,
So that's why we want to hear your stories. Tell us if yours are as kind of relaxed and chill as, or kind of like,
or is it fucking,
or was it, or
detrimental?
Was it, or was it, or is it,
like,
yeah, or was it,
ass and just walk away with it like that? Like,
Oh.
tell us what the fuck that is.
Tell us what happened with your your ex and texting them back. But yeah, like, so when we were when we were texting, it seemed like it was just like this kind of game of cat and mouse.
Yeah.
Where she would be very reluctant to give information, but would also want information out of me.
But you see, that's the whole game, though, right? Like, it's not necessarily like, let's say, like when you first like, in my experience, like when I did it, right? When I texted her, right, it wasn't necessarily oh my god, it wasn't necessarily that she wanted something from me, but it was more like, hold on, like a defensive mode, like they go in defensive because it's like, you haven't messaged me in years, and that's all fair, dude. Like,
yeah,
whether you're a guy or a girl, that's just like natural. Like, you're gonna be like, the fuck is going on here?
I actually disagree with that. I think that there's a bit of a, like, it depends on the power dynamic. Where the power dynamic of how you guys left the relationship.
Oh, you're a sweet boy then. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. You're saying you're a sweet boy. That's what you're saying right now.
Yeah.
Until that shit happens.
I'll say that, I was I was willing to kind of be like, oh, I wasn't always being like the, oh, let's do this, let's do that. I guess I wasn't always. I was kind of leading from behind, I'd say.
That's a really interesting choice of words.
Yeah.
Leading from behind.
Yeah. Like, like I let her do her thing. But when I noticed that she's doing something up, when she was like when she was going a little out of, when she was going out of her way, I'd be like, hey, are you sure you want to do that?
But look, girls don't need us for that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not anything like that. It has nothing to do with that. I don't know. It's like, for me, right? It's like, I like, for me now, I'm starting to understand that, like, come into myself as a person, like, more, because through that college thing, when you're going through it, it's just a whole mess of feelings that you don't even know that you're feeling.
Yeah,
at
like
the time.
I normally say that, like, I wasn't conscious till 22. Like I wasn't awake till 20, like till my early 20s. Like
I wasn't awake.
I was
fucking sleeping.
I was just like going through it. Like, I don't even know, and like a lot of the stuff that I like did before, I would be like, yo, I wasn't really self-actualized.
Self-actualized.
Yeah.
That's okay. You see, that's interesting because when we were like, it's like interesting when, from a girl and guy's perspective, is so like weird.
Okay.
And it doesn't even have to be, let's say, girl guy, just any partner relationship in general. The perspective of what you want from someone is so weird to like ask for, and then later on you like grow up and you're like, I want this. But how do you know your conscious mind even understands that that's actually what you want and that's actually what you need? Because maybe it's not.
Yeah, through trial and error, through relationship after relationship, you learn from each relationship, and also
sucks,
and also
fucking blows.
And also there's the concept of reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
Yeah, like like if you're giving as much that you feel comfortable with.
Yeah. And
you are taking as much as the other person feels comfortable with.
Yeah.
Right. And it doesn't have to be a 50-50 thing. For every relationship, it's different. Yeah. But like, it's the concept that both parties are happy with the amount of the love language given to each other.
Oh god, here we go with that word again. Love language, right? Okay,
Yeah.
look. I agree. I think there is a certain level of like love language between someone or someone else. I think you can learn someone else's love language, right?
Yeah,
but,
that's definitely.
But the thing is, though, it's like, right, like when I say that, right, it's just like, then do you really want to be with someone who just doesn't understand you, like just like that, you know?
So I don't know. Like I think like the love language thing is kind of like it's a way to approach a relationship, but it's not the end all be all for a relationship.
The end all be all.
I know what you
mean.
Yeah, like because like it's like like it's kind of situational, you can't be throwing like you can't be slinging dick to other women and then just go to your girl and be like, here, a dozen roses. That's not gonna work, even though her love language may be gift giving, but that's not how that works.
I see.
So
you basically gotta like facilitate some level of like, I like you for like who you are and who you will become. Like that's like the two.
Okay, so I argue
with that. Why?
Yeah, because the thing is about the who you become is that means that you're starting to like the idea of someone.
No. I don't think that's what it is.
Okay.
It's okay. Maybe wording. Maybe it's like this, right? It's like, I will like you for who you are and who you want to become.
Okay.
Maybe that's what it is.
That's a big difference. That's a big difference.
But hold on a second. So I actually got a weird message from CNN, citing CNN, that they closed down UNC. Now our sister goes to UNC.
We
check her right now.
Yeah.
And they just decided to close off school. So we're gonna call her.
Yeah.
And see what her reaction will be. Hold on 1 second.
We moved her in there,
dude.
She like.
Please explain that whole
story. Yeah, we moved her. We drove 15 hours down to North Carolina.
Had to be more because we split it.
We did split. We got a pickup. Yeah, we got a pickup truck. We got a pickup truck.
Let's see if she'll answer. Let's see if she'll answer.
Okay, yeah.
Hello?
Yo, Carlexo, you're on the Let Me Challenge You podcast with Julian and AJ.
Hey, Carlexo.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I know your names, y'all.
By the way, you were in Southern. Why do you keep on saying y'all?
She's been there a couple days now.
I mean, y'all is really easy.
Y'all is really easy to say.
And and there's no gender, so like it's not like.
I see, it's like the best type of whore. Okay, so right, I need to ask you something, right? So basically, right? So we obviously we saw that on CNN that UNC is not having any more classes because of COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that? And how does your like roommates? What the fuck is the environment of that now?
I mean, we're grad students, so we knew this was gonna happen.
You guys just like walked in knowing.
Also knew this was gonna happen, but
it's like grad school.
I think people are just trying to do what they got to do to stay sane. So ain't nobody too. I mean, personally, I was hoping that it would be fine for the undergrads. It was not, but like it'd be like that.
Yeah, it's like you. It was kind of like you graduated and then you looked around. You saw Roni. You saw economic collapse and was just like, yeah, I'm gonna stay in school a couple more years.
I mean, we'll see how things turn out in maybe a year. I guess.
Well, okay. A year. Okay, so another question, right? So, with like colleges in general, you're like probably one of the first colleges to shut down after opening up. Right?
And they were one of the first colleges to say that they were gonna have.
And then you were actually one of the first colleges to like say, hey, like, we're gonna have students come in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think so far of like the whole demographic of like your council so far, or is this something you guys are used to?
Everyone knows the council's bullshit. Everyone knows it's just corrupted as fuck. Everyone knows they brought us back for money. Yeah. Okay? I bet people weigh the pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
Some people stayed home. Some people came in. Some people came in with off-campus housing.
Yeah.
Various things happened, but people no one can act like we didn't know what was gonna happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's definitely true. And wait, we all came up here. How long did it take us? Like 16 hours? Full, like, I mean, for you it was 8 hours, right? Roughly. And then for us coming back, it was sure. 8 hours back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
How was the drive back?
Honestly, it was. I mean,
pretty fun. We learned the Scottish accent.
We learned that when you speak in a Scottish accent.
We're butchering it now, but we had it in the.
It's like basically like you have to like yodel like the whole time you talk.
Yeah.
So it's like it goes just like we came to here to go to the bar, and then after that we went.
Honestly, I'm not surprised that this was the topic of conversation.
Listen, it's important. We do the news here. We're important doing the news. Like this is what's going on,
yeah.
Right? But we just want to call you about that. But glad you stay safe.
Thanks for call, y'all. Call.
I have been calling. You don't pick up, baby.
Shut your ass up.
Okay, all right. You text me and I don't even answer. I mean, you
exactly.
No, you text me.
Was that a Freudian slip there?
You text me, right, and then I answer for like a split second, and then you answer me back. But our conversations are always brief. We don't have like deep conversations really.
Well, I don't know if you could take my deep conversation, Joe. This is not a conversation we have on the podcast.
Okay, all right. Now I'm going to take you off. You're going too real now, Curlix.
I'm just chilling.
No, you're not. I know you're chilling. Were you at home?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. I don't trust these fuckers out here.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to come. We'll come back to see you. We'll come back.
Okay.
We got a party, like, actually, because last time we
maybe.
didn't have What do you mean, maybe? What do you mean?
I said maybe,
you haven't taken online classes.
We're in a time of great unknowns.
That's why you need to drink more. That's exactly why you need to drink more.
That is so not what needs to happen. That's not the answer.
Okay. Well, I feel we have different viewpoints of what the world is.
Yeah, everybody has their little thing that they're using to cope.
I know you're definitely hitting the green.
Yeah, everyone.
The what?
The green, the weed, the marijuana.
Oh, they meant like playing golf.
Oh, I know. I use the same thing, and believe me, like this is not the first time I've been corrected by a bunch of people who are
wearing plaid shorts.
If you know golf rules, I feel like you're elitist. Like if you know golf rules, like me saying like, oh, the green, you're thinking golf. I think you're elitist right here.
Yeah.
I live next to a golf course, and I know a lot of white people. What do you want from me?
Exactly. All right, we're gonna leave back to it. Okay.
Okay.
So love you.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Much love.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. So that was basically because we literally got to see an update about UNC and how UNC basically they have to like close back down their classrooms because fucking COVID. And it was like everyone expected that. I don't understand how no one really expected that like colleges are going to close down. But it feels like it seems like college students know.
I remember watching the I think it was an MSNBC interview with the head of the college, right, walking through the campus, and they were like, so you guys are actually going to stay open? It's like, yes, we believe that we have the structure and the capability to remain open during this tumultuous time. And I looked at it. I was like, I give it a week.
I gave it 3 months.
Okay.
I was actually very generous. I was like, I think 3 months.
Okay.
I started to believe in the college.
You gave me.
I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
And after I realized, I was like, oh no, I would have really dumbed down my bet.
Yeah.
All that shit and all that stuff. But
yeah,
I mean, back to the ex.
Back to the exes. Yeah.
So when I messaged her, I was talking to her about, about how she was doing, if how's her family doing, just questions where it's weird because when you are in a relationship with someone at some point, right? You start to like, you obviously take in those that are around like them,
the traits of their
well, not only their traits of like who they are, like this is different. Like you meet people that they know.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Depending on how deep
relationship
goes. So like actually, in some ways, you're like, I actually do care about that person in some ways, right? So you ask them, but then again, it's like they're the fortress, like they're the wall. Like you message them, and you're like, oh, how's your dad? How's your mom? And they'd be like, fine. But like you know for a fact that there was some shit going on before, and you're like, how much fun are they?
Yeah. So that's one of the things. Like I stopped texting. I stopped texting my ex.
I mean,
when she started asking about like family stuff. And
so wait. Why did that make you feel uncomfortable then? Because that's interesting. You see, it's the same flip side, right? Like when we are the ones like asking the ex about like when we're doing this, or we're trying to see what it is, we're trying to like gauge how we are mentally about this.
Yeah.
It's like then again when it's like flipped again towards you, where you're on the receiving end of all these intimate questions. Now it's like, how do you feel about that?
So like what happened was it was what it was that it was what happened what happened previously.
Please
like
sponsor us.
What happened previously was that like she was asking me about like how the city was, and I kind of gave her like a a bit of a how things have been during the
just a big general about general how thing. You are like
and then she just goes like no, how do you feel about it? And then I was like, and I didn't like I didn't give too much, but I did say like I gave an honest answer. And then immediately after that, like she kind of just didn't really acknowledge that, and then just started asking about my sister. So to me it kind of felt like she was asking to see, but then she was trying to gain information like how is like the ground level, like seeing the ground level of what's actually happening in in the city. And she just wanted that information for whatever.
But but the thing is like whatever, like I like the two things, right? Information, right? If you're giving your ex information, I don't see that being like always a bad thing. Like, but it depends. If they're trying to like rob you out of millions of dollars, then sure.
But that's the thing. That's why that's why I call her like a sorceress. That's why she's my kryptonite. Like I had to like that's something that has been a consistent pattern in my interactions with her, that I had to be like, nah, I'm not gonna just fall back into that pattern with her where I don't know as much, like I don't know anything about her, and she basically knows like like almost she knows a lot about me.
But it's okay. So sidebar.
Yeah.
Right? We remember when, so we have a half sister, but really sister. It doesn't even.
She's a sister.
She's a sister to us. We found out about her. Like, I mean, I found out about her when I was in junior high, my high school, and then you found out.
I was like,
you're in like sophomore year, junior.
No, I actually knew earlier. I actually,
did you know?
I knew in. I think I was like maybe 8 years old.
You knew 8 years old?
Yeah.
And you never bothered to be like, hey, because we also have another sister.
Yeah, because mom and dad told me that I wasn't supposed to. Like,
are you fucking kidding me?
And you know how I found out?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
This is the fucking first time I'm learning about this. What the fuck?
Yeah, you know how I found out?
Yeah.
There was a picture of her on top of the china, and when you're 8 years old, you're running around all over the house.
I never stood at the china.
And I was just climbing up there, and I saw that picture, and then I was like, who's this?
That shit's big as fuck.
And then dad was like, yeah, that's your half sister, and I was like,
hey,
and I remember being like,
the knowledge real quick.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, so I have a half sister. What's and like I asked about her, and he was honest about her. He's like, I don't know exactly what she's doing right now, blah 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 blah. But that
wow,
came later.
What a good dad there.
Yeah,
what a good dad move. Be honest.
He was being straight with me.
So in a relationship, all back to this, right? Like we have a half sister, right? And finding out about this in junior year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, with our family, I was just like, okay, like I immediately accepted it. Like it wasn't like, oh, what's going on? None of that bullshit. It was just like, okay, makes sense. Like it made sense. Right?
Yeah.
But then finding out that she was a sexologist, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's a sexologist. Nikki Morgan, please follow her on Instagram. She's pretty lit.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was like, whoa, why the fuck am I not that cool? Like, like I immediately looked at it myself. I was just like, how the fuck do I not? Like, that's just incredible. Like,
you know, like I'll say that like when I found out that she was a clinical sexologist, right? I was like two things. One, I was like, yeah, we know how to get down.
Nice
we
now.
know how to hit. We know how to
We're
hit
hit
down.
it nice now.
Yeah,
right?
we know how to hit down. But also like being in the field that I was in.
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about like how cool, like what can I do?
Yeah.
What are the things that I would want to like that what was something that I wanted to pursue?
Yeah.
That had like a part of me in it.
Okay.
So like that I think happened much later on for me. But when I did, like having that sister as a foil, like as like a someone that has done that, it helps with I guess like what the path that we're taking now. I guess I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, like finding out that she was a sexologist, I was like excited to ask her about sex things, and then the other half of me was just like, oh, she's my sister. Like the other part of me was just like, oh, this is gonna be weird for me. It became weird for me because it's like I know, look, we're a pretty liberal family, right? For like we're Asian Americans. Like honestly, we're pretty liberal for what we do and what we are, but like straight up, I don't know. Right then and there, I was just like, oh my god, that's gonna be my sister. I've never even I recently started talking to Alex about other stuff. I had other sister about stuff, but like it was like weird for me at first to be like, but then she's like like she's clinical in it, like she knows what to do, like how to do it right, like
And, like the thing is like the thing is was like what's it called? I was always giving you like it was hard for you. It was hard for you.
Here we go. The big brother wisdom that apparently has just stumbled upon me.
But it was
you're an older sibling, be aware of that.
it was harder for you to ask because you were always given. Like like all of the trials and errors that I did growing up, I was like growing up with girls. Growing up with girls, I would just tell you, hey,
don't do this.
Yeah, it's like and you'd be like, and you'd look at me and be like, all right, yeah, I won't do that. Like,
but it's weird though. With our generation, is very different. Like we don't really like necessarily care about like he, her, she, them. How they ever pronouns would they ever want to choose? Yeah. It really is becoming some sort of like new world of just like masculine and feminine energy of this whole sort of things being built in. And it's like interesting because it's like, I think men don't know, like, see, the reason why us men are not like accepting of that fact fully yet, like a lot of us, it's because we don't know how to be sexy in it yet. Like for women, like we don't know how to be sexy for women in that realm, how to be sensitively sexy. Like how do you do that? Because you say you're sexy.
And I mean, it's like trying to be like the only person that I can think of who was able to be that sensitively sexy and still get was Prince. So
Prince got it down to a fucking science.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Prince had it on like.
I'm gonna say friggin'.
Like he was light years ahead of his time, but still so far ahead that he was like women were like, I don't know why I like this guy, but I'm with it. And he was like, what? He was like 5 foot something, dude, wearing heels and everything like magic, that. Like
And I'm like still trying to find the generation that is our prince. Like, who is the prince of our generation?
Ooh.
But on that thought, hold on 1 second. We're gonna go do an ad break.
All right, ad break.
We're gonna come right back.
I'm gonna get some coconut water.
You get some coconut water, please.
Guys, you're trying to start a podcast. You're trying to get your voice out there and heard. You know what? Go and find and use Anchor. Anchor is really the easiest way to make a podcast. And what's even more crazy about it, it's free. Yes, it's absolutely free. The creation tools that are on Anchor allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone and your computer. Now, when I'm working, I love to sip some wine, to smoke some tea, pet my cat, look at the sky. And with Anchor, it really allows me to do all of that in the comfort of all my own home. And what's even crazier about it is that Anchor will actually help you distribute your podcast so it can be heard across Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. That shit is wild. No more handing out flyers, no more sending out EMs, DMs, all this stuff. It will help you distribute it. And on top of that, you can make money with Anchor with no minimum listenership. That's again, right. No minimum listenership. If you have 10 people, 20 people listening to your podcast, you can start getting that cash. You can start getting that guap. You can start making things happen. It really is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So again, if you're trying to fly free, try to fly high, download the free Anchor app or go to the anchor.fm to get started. Again, you can download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Yo, let's start a revolution.
Okay. So now back to Prince, right? Okay, so who would be the Prince of our generation, you know?
I don't think there's any one person that completely embodies Prince, but like there are like characteristics of him that are
just been like transcended throughout like all artists, like trap artists.
Like no, I mean like Lil Uzi Vert driving on the back of a motorcycle, right? like that's something I could totally see Prince pulling off and it being totally okay, you know. But yeah,
that dude did the whole pancake shit, right? Like the whole
he's the one, because he's the guy who will beat your ass in basketball and then cook your pancakes afterwards.
That's just some fucking that's some mental shit I can't even imagine.
That's like he was a character. He was an original. He was a character.
He's an original.
He's an original. Yeah. So like there are people who can kind of. But you know,
he's kind of like my idol in that sense, like where like in that he can just balance, like he's like a full-fledged balanced human being. It feels like you know, and it's like terrifying. In some ways. But you know, it's especially hard because like when we're looking at the music generation now, right? There's a whole bunch of stuff that was like there's still a lot of stuff that's like depressing, and stuff like that, and that was just kind of like the generation we grew up around. Like, you more on the tippy top, like you're coming into it. Yeah. But I like, you know, me was more like I was born in it. I was made by the darkness.
Yes, but yeah, like it was because like I would say like 2013 to 2016, even 2013 to 2017 was really like generally positive music. Like it was like really positive stuff. Like I don't know, you had a bunch of different like just positive even the rappers were positive.
This whiskey's hidden.
Oh, it's hidden.
Yeah, it's hidden. It's hidden. I would recommend, if you wanted to select whiskey, I would look at you know, a nice Johnny Walker, or if you want, you can you know, get a nice bullet. People say boulet. I say bullet because I'm a goddamn American. and you know, it's this shit is hidden right now. Right. But okay, back to really let's talk about actually like texting your ex in the dynamic, because what's interesting right now is that there is a new shift in what, you know, this always happens, right? Like when you're looking at any global structure, or especially a structure that's like a binary structure where, you know, there's always a pendulum swing. And it's always radical. You can see it in the politics, you can see it in everything, right? Now we in us time, we get to actually experience the transition
Mhm.
where we're starting to see more dudes that aren't necessarily masculine.
Yeah.
To fit a definition, but also it's like weird because it's like then I think we like as dudes, I think we associate masculinity with like attractiveness for women, and that's starting to be like
So
a
do you
weird
mean
trend.
do you mean like masculinity being like our perception of
What girls might find
what
attractive.
what girls might find attractive?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think that like first of all, like every girl is different, but like
I mean, it's nice to tell yourself that. I'm joking. These are jokes.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know, like what's it called? Some like the thing is that masculinity is being redefined.
Yeah.
And I think that there are a lot of guys who are pushing back against that, but there are a lot of guys who are embracing that. And like the chicks love it. Like
it's interesting to me because I don't know if that's like if that's like it's a weird thing to imagine because like the whole like relationship dynamic, right, of what we do biologically versus like what we do practically, right?
Yeah.
It's like biologically it says that men are supposed to provide and then and then women like men are supposed to provide and women are supposed to nurture and like build and do this other bullshit. And when was society right? Like that's
no. So it's like so when you're thinking biology, it's like what was it like? The men were the hunters. The men were the hunters. The females were the gatherers, and then
exactly men were supposed to provide, and then females were supposed to nurture and gather and like help build the family, and the men's supposed to protect the lady. That was what was like said. But I think what's interesting now is that the dynamic of that is changing. With more women entering the workplace, with more people like and rising up, not just like entering, like rising up. Because entrance was, I would say, when World War II, or was it even earlier?
My history is a little rough.
I think so. Around that time, when jagged. A lot of the men went off to war, the girls would take over, and so now like the dynamic switching, where now you have like women CEOs, women making billions of dollars, women still winning divorces. I'm kidding, but I'm kidding. But I'm just saying that like when we're looking at it, the scope of it now, the dynamic of a relationship it has to change in what society is being viewed.
So do you think that like society and nature are kind of clashing, like society and biology?
It's like I personally believe that the whole idea of what we do as a nature is I don't think that's necessarily correct. I think what we know to be true based on what we only have like 10% of our brain, right, consciously.
That's
it's
not
a varying.
That's what it is that maybe 10% might be working at one time, but there are multiple parts of our brain that are
works.
always
of course, at one time.
Yeah,
So our whole brain is not lit up at once.
Yeah, of course,
because they're all
yeah.
So that's the point. So it's interesting because now when you're looking at like what we say is like, oh, it's nature, this is what we're supposed to do, this is what biology, we don't really know our capabilities.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I think very few people, like when you're looking at like like Mozart, or you can look at like Einstein, or you can look at and then you can look at
nice.
I just wind up on it.
Nice.
And then you can look at like even the ones of our time right now, Warren Buffett, those guys, there's this weird sense where it's like, do they operate with those same values inherently because it's a part of their nature, or do they lean into it, or is it because like, oh, the environmental factors and how your brain, because inside there's like neuroreceptors that pick up on what you're trying to do, and they start connecting them into certain patterns and stuff that solidify for you to then be like, okay, if I see this again, this is what I would want.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're technically, if it's nature is this weird sense where it's like, I think it's programmed. I think I think we programmed ourselves to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know
if
it's naturally like, occurring.
I don't think that like I don't think it's like, well,
because So what's natural, right? Like corn grade.
Corn isn't even.
Corn's not even natural. So yeah,
you know. So there's very like to go to say what was like actually natural. I don't know, but like I would say like I guess. Oh, here's like you could say that the pursuit like guys pursuing women, that is
a nature thing.
That's a nature thing. I think.
Yeah, you can see it across the animal kingdom. Like naturally, like males would be going after females or doing some sort of courtship to show their promise to it.
Yeah.
But then again, right? We're not those animals.
That's true.
And that's where I start to really look at like the idea of subconscious and conscious and how much it can play. Like there are people out there who believe that they're dragons and they make themselves look like they're dragons.
That's fucked up. Yeah.
Like, and it's not even like it's not, you know, but it's like how do you get there?
Yeah. What are the steps
that need to happen to get there? That's why it's always this weird like nature versus nurture. It's like, frick, man, I don't know this relationship of like everyone says human nature is instinctive first. Honestly, it's a weird balance because it's like we are given a blueprint at birth.
Okay.
But then in that blueprint, that shit can change.
Yeah.
And I think that's more effective in some ways. Like the change or something.
Yeah, because you can. I think there are certain things that are like inherently like nature based. Like I think that like trans people know like they've like that they know that they're like they even as kids they're like
aware
they were aware that something was off
within their nature or
so
their nature in quotes
so like but then
I got you all brain farted now.
No, it's just that I'm watching what I'm saying. No, but like oh no, it's like you know, I'm like I'm pretty sure that there are some guys who no, I'm pretty sure there are some guys who are just convinced into sucking dick. Like
that's right. Yeah, okay. You see, and that's where everything starts to come around. You know,
okay.
Like, the idea of sucking dick, right? If you're like we like men were just like at first like you know like, you're not sure about that, right? And then like give it some time, like give a good con man a good list of things. You can convince anyone of anything.
Yeah,
look at Tiger King. This guy was just convinced into being gay. Right? And you know what, I don't even know if it's like true or it's not, like because it's just like it's what he believes.
Yeah, right. So was that the society that he was around that made him think that, or made him like that, or was it just something that was like inherently like what's it called, repressed. That was being expressed at that moment? Like,
you know, it's like weird. So I had like internally, right, there's a monologue that everyone has, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like there's like I feel like people know. You know, like, you know, it's like a weird thing. Like, there's like barriers to getting to what you want to know about yourself as you dive into your consciousness of like understanding what you do know versus what you don't know, right? So, it's interesting because when we get confused, it's to figure out like, oh, I like it could be something easily as practical as like, you know, I like black beans versus I like brown beans, right? Yeah. But it can then become something like, oh, do I think this idea is right? And that's where it gets complicated. And so, like, it's interesting to, or at least to say the least, you know, like that, where we stand on, like, how things would act natural, nature versus nurture, and this weird blending of things. I think, you know, nurturing does start to then matter more. That answers the question.
Yeah.
But now the dynamic of the relationship, looking at all that, it's like, if she is the CEO, I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind slinging my dick for that. You know, like
of course,
I feel like it's like crazy if you're a dude and then a girl that you're dating is like a millionaire or just fucking killing the game, killing the system, and you to be like, mad or something about that, but you should still do what you gotta do.
Yeah, of course.
But sling that dick.
Yeah,
give that girl what she wants,
yeah,
right? That's what we're made for.
Yeah, but it's like, and like if she's all like in that situation, isn't she like the one who's pursuing you at that point? So like, like if she's like yeah, like give me that dick.
Give me that dick right now.
Yeah,
she just says like, yeah,
you're like yes, ma'am, right?
Out. She's like, all right,
you got you got to do, and like there's this argument. There's still
you cannot say no to sex with women. I'm joking, guys. I'm joking.
No, of course, yeah.
You can never say no.
Wink.
But it's like, yeah, it's
so, but then there's like this, and the thing is that there is a lot of there's a lot of pushback in society of like, there are a lot of women who are still like
society. Let's just say white people. We'll keep on saying society though.
It's like where they're like, no, like if you're not making like more than I am, then I don't want to be with that. Then I don't want to be.
You know what's interesting about that though? Like, are they wrong to think that too? Because it's like a weird thing. Because okay, like we do have sperm.
Yeah, sure.
But we do not create people.
Yeah, that is true.
I have never created a human being in my life.
Yes, this is good.
It's fucking crazy that I know people who have.
Oh my god!
Like that's just what it is.
Yeah.
And so like, in this weird sense, like, is it is it really a sense of okay? Is all of this society thing just based on our male insecurity? And that's apparently what the arguments are.
Yeah,
but also I think bitches are crazy.
Okay, so what's kind of the funny thing? Like, so society is kind of like built on the patriarchy, right?
Patriarchy is real
right?
Shit,
yeah, it is.
Shit,
Yeah, but like. I try to look at the flip side of like what society would have been if it was more matriarchal, and I kind of think it would be absolutely crazy.
You see, the thing is that we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Of course not.
I think we're starting to move into that age, which is interesting.
Oh yeah, okay.
But it's weird. I ask a lot of girls before I started talking about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I asked them, and like if the world was, if there was a matriarchy, if it wasn't a patriarchy, would it be a better world?
Mm-hmm.
And I think in their responses they said no.
Really?
But not no, as in like it's like worse, but it's like there should be no matriarchy
or patriarchy.
Okay, should be a balance.
Yeah.
That's what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. But in their eyes, I do see a sense of Julie, like, literally, I could just sense it. I could feel the vibe where it's like, why are you asking this question?
Yeah. You can glean it. You can see the glint in their eye with it. Yeah, I mean, like. Yeah, like I don't know, like the women that I've talked to, most of them would be like, yeah, a benevolent dictatorship.
Yeah,
that's a matriarch that has matriarch would probably be best for everybody. And it's like, I don't know, like that would be kind of.
It's interesting. It's interesting to think about, and we're just looking at this objectively.
Yeah,
it's nothing that we do believe or not believe or whatever. Yeah, we're just talking to talk some shit. Like, we're just talking to talk some shit, and we're looking at it, right? It's like there is this weird sense where I personally think that there are like in the sense of like understanding this level of spiritual self. I think women have understood that a lot more than men, and I think. Because we only hear about the Dalai Lama and all that shit, but I think there is a spiritual sense that they do have. But
the Dalai Lama said that.
I know. Did you see that?
No, he said that if a Dalai Lama, if the next Dalai Lama, or if there was ever a Dalai Lama that was a woman, she would have to be hot. Yeah.
Like look at me, look at my mug.
But, yeah.
Look at this guy.
But
I'm not even sure. Did he say that with like a straight face?
yeah, I think he said that.
He's just like, she would have to be
Yeah,
hot.
yeah.
It's like this.
No,
is
but
the only way it
but
works.
contextually, it was like because he was like in this kind of in this relatively he was like it kind of shallow world, like for the Dalai Lama to make a difference, she would have to be attractive. So it's like, okay, but, you know,
just like some hot Dalai Lama being like, understand my words. I'll be, oh yes, please. Yes, please. But I don't know. It's a very interesting thing to be pulling around because I've been I don't know. I like to do these social experiments on like how people react to someone doing something of the opposite, gender or sex or whatever.
Yeah.
I like doing stuff like that because it's always interesting to actually see like how people react. And so before, right, I used to sport around in these like I would wear these like black and pink shoes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And literally everyone thought I was like super gay.
Yeah.
Like immediately because I was just wearing them.
Mm.
And everyone, I mean, when I was doing my sport and everything,
Yeah.
everyone thought I was gay for like a hot take.
Like,
like a hot few months. Like this was going on.
Yeah.
But then later on, like a really top professional person came over and saw me wear my shoes and came up. He's like, yo, I like what you're doing. I like what you're wearing. This is dope. I'm like, oh, thanks. Next thing you know, he puts them on. He's wearing them. And all of a sudden, everyone is wearing them. So that's when it's just like, to me, I'm like, oh my God. Then this whole idea of like,
it's just you need someone to break that barrier first,
so
that it makes it okay for everybody else
to feel at ease. But also, it's like, how mistaken is that? And this was like back then, right?
Yeah.
So this was like what? This was, I would say, at least over 10 years ago.
Okay.
Right? 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, not 10. Maybe 10 years ago, roughly, right? And then now, right, these past weeks, I decided to put on nail polish, right, to see how people react. No one gave a fuck. Like I was on a bumblefuck farm in the middle of nowhere. This dude, the most redneck dude you can ever imagine, and his friend. So there's the redneck dude, but there's also the friend. You know, like that guy. You know that guy, right? Yeah. They pull up on a pickup, not a pickup, on a little tractor. Where one of them was standing on the side. And I remember looking at the farm, and I was like, "Where the fuck am I?" Yeah. Right. And they come down and they see my nail polish. They see everything, perfectly friendly. Yeah. Super nice. Yeah. Freaking like chill. And they probably were Trump supporters. And this is where I was just like, if it turned out like that, we had to like fight for our lives. Like, I had to fight these guys for our lives.
This is a huge jump, but okay.
I would murder them. I would try to go and murder them without a doubt. Without a doubt, you know, that's just natural human selection.
Okay.
But I think inherently,
you have to say allegedly.
But I think inherently, people, there's starting to become this level of courtesy because people are afraid to say something bad. So everyone's being like hyper nice. So is that we pendulum?
Okay, so
nowadays,
okay,
so, but this is all based on this experiment.
So you're thinking like there's like in a sense like there's like tone policing.
Tone policing, yeah. There's huge tone policing, but it's weird now because it's working in the sense where people aren't going to jump to conclusions so quickly, even though people are, and when they read stuff, it's really weird. Like. Face-to-face contact with people, people are the nicest. Okay. Right now, people can be dicks, people can be crazy. That happens all the time. Yeah. You see the videos. I love the videos. I like the videos. Clink. But when it's like just natural when you're going up to like order something from the grocery deli or something like this, I'm sensing there is a level of tension that is creating people to be a little nicer. Okay. A little more aware of what they're doing. And maybe that's how we see it psychologically in our brain, that tension is not necessarily like it's not necessarily like, like good in a sense where it's like it's not good, but maybe in a societal way, it might be.
So it's kind of like what's it called? Like to give you the other side of that, like the other extreme of that, it would be like it would be like doublespeak, like from 1984, right, where people aren't like allowed to have certain thoughts or or
Fuck your thoughts. Dude, the 1900s was fucking wild.
Yeah, but you know, like, so like right now, I think it's over. It's still
overcorrection right
over.
now.
There's still overcorrection.
Yeah.
But like, I think that like, I mean, for fuck's sakes, there's been for so many years people had to deal with, for so many years people had to deal with like, having to like grin and bear it from the other from the other side of like, you know, like
Whether it's
talking too brash or like
it's like
being
whether it's race
insulting,
or
yeah,
anything,
yeah, or you know, and stuff like that. That like it's okay. I think it's okay that we have a couple years where people are a little
Overcorrected.
are walking on eggshells a little bit, just to kind of like, you know.
All right, I don't know.
Yeah.
This might be a little morbid, what am I
Yeah.
to say? But
Okay.
I think people are not going to change at all. I think all of this,
Mhm.
right? I'm super happy it's happening
Okay.
and everything, but there is just so many levels
Mhm.
to how people then process things. And
Mhm.
right now it's like trauma,
Mhm.
right? Like we're experiencing a lot of trauma when it comes to COVID
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
when it comes to, you know, Black Lives Matter movement. Like
Mhm.
you're seeing a lot of shit, looting, gun
Yeah.
shooting,
Yeah.
all of this stuff. And it's always interesting how people deal with trauma, right?
Mhm.
And whether we know it, it may not even affect you or hit you,
Mhm.
but in our mind, we do things to protect ourselves against that
Yeah.
trauma,
Yeah.
you know, manifest in some sort of way.
Yeah.
And what's interesting to me is that, you know, I don't know, like, look, I'm not saying this is gonna be definitive, but I'm just saying that, you know, people are going to revert back to what they're doing or whatever they always have done. But it's going to be like another overcorrection.
Okay.
So it's this weird function of time.
I disagree with you.
Okay, please.
Because I think that like you can use the example. You can use the example of World War II. Yeah, like a World War II in Europe. So with World War II in Europe, the governments in those countries are more aligned with what would be called more socialist, like more socialist values, because they've seen war.
Yeah.
There's that generational trauma.
You're saying that we need another war.
No. So what I'm saying,
blow some shit up.
what I'm saying, what I'm saying is like this is kind of like our version of that. Like this, I think this is gonna be like a generational trauma.
Yeah.
That we carry that
then
like
others forget.
Like older people will be like whatever, but yeah, like
well,
I think
dead.
yeah, they'll be dead. Yeah, but like
I know what you mean, like the younger generation.
The younger generation. Yeah, like because we're gonna like we'll talk to them about this and, you know, and stuff like that, and that trauma will manifest. The generations below will be able to like observe the manifestation of that trauma, and
you know it's fine though. Look, you know, with that, like when they're looking at us, it's gonna be fine. You know what?
Yeah,
weed's gonna be legal. Everyone's gonna be smoking weed. You know, it's funny. Our generation's been smoking more weed than others because this shit's gonna be federalized.
Yeah,
but let's say the generation behind us, they'd be seeing us smoking joints. It's like, oh, that's how we handle this.
Yeah, not to put like, you know, but before that happens, we got to get people out of jail. For that. We got to get people out of jail. Like,
dude, yeah, honestly, like straight up.
Like we got like for non-violent
weed.
Offenses, like
holding a spice.
Yeah, holding like an eighth or something like that. Yeah,
it's an herb.
It grows from the ground.
But like,
yep.
I think, you know, but okay, so you know I think we're about to actually run out of time, so we should actually keep back on this, right? But again, please, thank you guys for listening. This is the Challenge You podcast. I'm Julian Febvre, and
I'm Alex Febvre.
And it's thank you guys. Please support. Please send anything you can, or you know, please send in any emails to the letmechallengeyoupod@gmail.com, or you can DM me at jfevs_ or JFEVS_ at Instagram, or you can tweet me at Julian Fevry. It's my goddamn name, or it's just Juju Fevry at Twitter.
And you can DM me at maxed out character reviews, or tweet me at maxed OCR.
Yep.
And
please challenge us to do things. We want to do something every week, and so for this week, we challenge you though to text your ex. Text your ex. Text that motherfucker. Text that bitch. Text your ex. Because in its core, we always believe that we run on our egos, and sometimes our egos pull or it strays away from what we really want sometimes, and it's a conflicting thing. But I want to challenge you. Like we have texted our ex. Yeah. Please text your ex.
Break their social norms.
Yeah, keep that shit going, and please email us any stories. Email us any things that you've gone through. I feel like any of the texts that you've done, like any of the stories that you want to hear, because we want to hear from you guys. So please support, and thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week. Thanks.
Deuces.
Deuces.